Hello, this is Lucas Offenkamp. I am here today with Cody Cochran of Anson, Texas. Cody is going to be one of our speakers at Men's Retreat here at Lakewood Park Bible Camp next month, February 18 and 19. We're looking forward to being back at the Bible Camp after a great experience last year. So Cody, welcome, and would you take a moment to introduce yourself to us?
Yeah. So what's up, Lucas? Man, it's good to be with you this morning, and looking forward to coming and hanging out with you guys. Even though maybe I'm not too enthused about some of that cold weather. No, excited to come, man. I'm just a Texas boy. I've lived in Texas my entire life, man. Born and bred and raised and everything right here, and live in Anson, Texas, town of about 2,000 people. Just small rural town, man, and that's our heart. That's our desire. We love rural America. I grew up a cowboy, grew up on a ranch, working all my life, and so anyway, been pastoring here for 21 years, and so anyway.
Excellent. Could you take a moment or two to talk about your ministry there in Anson? You planted a couple churches, and you're in a small community, and
we have, yes, sir. Yeah, we just kind of recognize that in rural America, you know what, we got a lot of churches that are dying, you know what I mean, and pastors that have been there for years and they're dying, and we're not graduating a lot of kids from our colleges down here that say, hey, send me to rural America where I can make, well, I like to be co-vocational and I can make $500 a month pastor the church. So we just realized that, you know what, we have an opportunity to raise up people with our DNA that love rural America and send these guys out to these little towns and give these towns a life-giving, spirit-filled, Bible-teaching church where they can go find hope in the middle of this crazy, jacked-up world we got. So yeah, we've planted 3 churches out of this one.
What do you see happening in rural ministry in America? I was first introduced to you at the Influence Conference at General Council this year, and you spoke in a session on that, and you said God is doing a new work in rural ministry, and I believe you said God is making rural ministry sexy again. So what do you see happening in rural ministry in America?
Well, for real, man. I mean, and I guess I'm partial, but I just think rural is the backbone of our country. You know what I mean? I think we can never forget our rural roots as Americans, as Assemblies of God. We got really strong rural roots, and so I just think that the pandemic showed us that in the big cities, if it goes to crap, man, you know what? And there ain't nothing on the shelves, and they don't know what to do. But we're in the rural. We're the foundation, man. You know what I mean? We go shoot a buck, and we go run a trot line, and we can go make it happen. And I just really believe that the envy of America, I really believe this with all of my heart, the envy of American people at its core is that old pioneering spirit, rural America. Just tough it out, make it. We can handle it. We can do it. You know what I mean? And I just think God is grabbing a hold of rural people right now, and he's going to start these little pockets of revival all over. And, you probably heard me say it. I really think that wildfire starts at the bottom, not at the top.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the mega churches that are going to start revival. And I don't think it's the big cities. I think it's going to be a bunch of small little pockets in rural America where God's raising up a remnant of people that's going to start from the bottom, and the fire of revival is going to go all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And I really believe that with all of my heart.
You said at the Influence Conference that one of the focuses of the ministry at Bethel Church is to go after the men. You
Sure.
said that. You said we target the men, we go after the men. Why is that a focus of your ministry?
Well, I mean, if I'm just being 100% honest with you, these guys that I reach out here in rural America, man, they're a man's man. You know what I mean? They're rough and tough, and they work hard. And to be honest, they look at the church over the years and they don't like the church because the men in church look weak and the men in church look feminine. And a lot of our churches out here, and I'm not saying, I'm not trying to share any toxic masculinity, but most of our churches are run by women out here. The women taught the Sunday school. The women were the leaders. The women did everything. And so our men are just like, I don't want to be a part of that. And so we just tried to target them and go, church and Christianity is not a soft, weak, feminine-based gospel. Jesus was a man's man. He took a whipping. He carried his own cross. He could build you a house. He could fish. He was a tough guy. He defeated everything the enemy throwed at him. And so we just try to create an atmosphere where men feel comfortable. And our women, they don't get to put any flowers in the church. They get to put one bouquet of flowers and it's in the women's bathroom. We want, our colors are neutral. I'm edgy on the things that I say. You know what I mean? I'm pretty straightforward, pretty salty in my verbiage and stuff. And we found out our women don't mind it as long as their husband is sitting there next to them in church.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, and it's very traditional where I'm from. Still traditional family, husband, wife, kids, you know. And I've said it a jillion times, and I said it at Influence. It may not be politically correct, but it's biblically correct that God is still calling and ordaining men to be the spiritual leaders of their homes, husbands and fathers.
Our theme for men's retreat, and you know, we don't strictly follow themes, but it gives us a kind of a talking point, I guess. But the theme is endangered. It's no secret in our culture that men are under attack with a new type of warfare. Obviously, it's a type of warfare. The aim is to silence men and to fit them really into a mold to make them less dangerous. We hear a lot about the toxic masculinity, the evil patriarchy, and I tend to think it's an effort of the enemy to. It really goes back to the Garden of Eden. His goal was to overthrow authority, and I think that's still his goal: the authority of men in the home, the authority of men in the church, and so forth. Really, you know, if you look back a generation ago, it was to overthrow the role of women through feminism, and the role of women through motherhood, and to make them more like men, get out of the home, get into the workplace, and now it's to overthrow the authority of men. But how is this attack from culture trying to make men disappear? How is it affecting men in culture, and how is it affecting men in the church?
Well, I mean, I kind of think what goes back to the previous conversation that we just had, that our men are just like checked out. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not going up there, and I'm not going to. Maybe, don't get me wrong, Bethel has got some cool songs that they sing, but the men I know are not going to come sing about giving Jesus a big sloppy wet kiss. You know what I mean? So I think even the culture in the church within this younger generation, with, you know what, wearing their skinny jeans and no socks with their penny loafers, and, you know, we can't even drink dairy milk, we got to drink soy milk or whatever. You know what I mean? These soft kids that we have raised in our, and men are just checking out of it. Our men are anyway. You know what I mean? So I think the enemy has been very successful in coming in and getting men to just say, I'm out. Screw it. I don't want to be a part of that kind.
You know, it almost sounds like you're saying that men are still men. They're just staying away from the church.
I agree. Exactly. I mean, I agree 100% out here. You know what I mean? We still get them every day that come in here that are rough and tumble, and they've been afraid to come to church because some of the churches shunned them before because they weren't cleaned up or didn't have the right kind of clothes, or they might slip. And I mean, I'll just be honest with you, nothing tickles me more, you know, than for this rough old farmer or rancher who comes to church for the first time. And then I'm standing at the back door shaking hands, and he comes back, he goes, well, that's a damn good sermon today, Cody. You know, I mean, like, I want them to be real and authentic, and I don't want you to have to switch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, for years, we've been a huge missions, you know, organization, foreign missions, and I'm for foreign missions, don't get me wrong. But we used to, at our district council, we would march our missionaries in on missionary night, and they would be dressed in the traditional clothing from the culture they were going to reach, carrying a flag. We sent them to language school. They learned all of that stuff. But yet in rural America, we wanted a kid who had lived in Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and been to Waxahachie Bible School. We wanted him to come out here to West Texas and continue to live the way he did down there, but it never fit the culture out here.
Sure.
So I'm a huge culture guy. And so a lot of the stuff that I say and do, it fits our culture. You know what I mean? Maybe it offends the religious person or the you know, the choir boy from, you know, whatever, but it's fitting our culture and it's reaching our people. So I've always thought that was an injustice in rural America of trying to not just fit the culture.
Yeah, and I was guilty of this when pastoring, where you'd see a ministry that seemed to be doing a great work, and you would think, I wish I could create that here, and so your goal would be to import culture into your community where maybe it wouldn't fit. So yeah, that's very good. On so we're gonna have you at men's retreat. You're gonna speak Friday the 18th, which happens to be my birthday, so it's gonna be a great celebration. Uh,
Yeah.
but you're gonna speak at 3 p.m. on Friday, 7 p.m. on Friday, and then Saturday morning. We have a couple breakout session slots, and I hope, guys, that you'll come and join us at men's retreat here at Lakewood Park Bible Camp, February 18 and 19. You can go to the website ndmen.org/events and find out more. But Cody will be with us Friday and Saturday. We're excited to meet you in person, Cody. And thank you so much for your time this morning.
You bet, man. I can't wait. Gonna be praying for it the whole weekend, and looking forward to hanging out and getting to meet all you guys face to face.
Well, like we've said, and like you've seen in this conversation, Cody's heart is to reach men, and then the rural ministry. And a lot of North Dakota, that's the environment is done in a rural setting. And even if you're in a big city, the people in big city, I said big city, Cody, North Dakota, right? Even if you're in a bigger city in North Dakota, it's still a rural setting in terms of the mentality of people. And so this weekend is going to touch our hearts, if that's appropriate to say to a bunch of men.
Yeah. So, hey, let me say that. Can I say one
Do
thing,
it.
Lucas?
Yeah.
Because I love what you just said, because it's big city, small city, whatever. But here's what I think I've found out, something to add to that. What we do in rural is transferable to any size city.
Yeah.
But not what you do in the cities is always going to be transferable out here to rural.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think people in cities are wearing, they're wearing their flannel shirts and buying their boots, and they're everybody digs a little bit of country, a little bit of rural. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, if it's bigger towns, hey, you know what? What we do in rural is transferable to big cities too. So.
Well, we're excited to meet you in person, Cody, and thankful that you'll be at men's retreat next month. Again, that's ndmen.org/events. We hope to see you guys there here at Lakewood Park Bible Camp next month. And thanks for your time, Cody, and we'll see you next month. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, man.